A detailed exegesis of Dhammapada, verse 1. This inaugural verse is the cornerstone of the Buddha's ethical and psychological teaching. It establishes the fundamental principle that the mind is the primary source of all our experiences, both good and bad. The Pali verse and narrator Thera's translation. Pali original. Mano pubagam dhamma. Manaseh manamaya. Manosa si padahina.
Bhasativa karotiva.
Tato na dukamanvedi. Kakava vahado pada. Narrator Thera's translation. Mind is the forerunner of all evil states. Mind is chief. Mind-made are they. If one speaks or acts with a wicked mind, because of that, suffering follows one, even as the wheel follows the hoof of the draft ox. Word-by-word analysis. Mano pubagam dhamma. Mind is the forerunner of all states. Mano, mind, thought, consciousness, intention. Pubagam, predecessor, forerunner, that which comes first. Dhamma, here, it means all mental phenomena, states, or things. This line means that all mental qualities and subsequent actions are preceded by, or originate from, the mind. Manasa manamaya, mind is chief, mind-made are they. Say, chief, master, leader. Maya, made of, consisting of. The mind is the supreme commander, and our experiences are fabricated by the mind. Manosa si padahina, basadi va karoda va. If one speaks or acts with a wicked mind. Manosa, with the mind. Padahina, corrupted, wicked, impure. Basadi, speaks. Karodi, acts, physically. This specifies the condition, when verbal or physical action is rooted in a defiled mental state. Tato na dukamanvedi, because of that, suffering follows him. Tato, from that, therefore. Na, him, that person. Dukkha, suffering, pain, unsatisfactoriness. And vedi, follows, pursues. This is the inevitable result. Suffering is the direct consequence. Kakava vahado pada, even as the wheel follows the hoof of the draft ox. Kaka, wheel. Vahado, of the one who pulls, of the draft ox. Pada, foot, hoof. This is the powerful simile illustrating the inescapable nature of the cause and effect relationship. Detailed philosophical explanation. The primacy and creativity of the mind, lines 1 to 2. The verse begins by establishing the mind's supreme role. It is not just another sense faculty. It is the architect of our reality. Forerunner, pubagam every action, whether verbal or physical, is first a thought, an intention, or a volition, satana. Before a word of anger is spoken, the mind first generates the feeling of anger. This highlights the doctrine of comma, where intention is itself the comma. Chief, say the mind is the master, and the body and speech are its servants. A disordered mind leads to disordered speech and action. A disciplined mind leads to virtuous conduct. Mind-made. Manamaya, our entire subjective experience of the world is fabricated by our minds through perception, interpretation, and mental habits. Two people in the same situation can have vastly different experiences based on the state of their minds. The specific application to unwholesome states, line 3. The verse then focuses on the unwholesome, akusala, side to illustrate the law of cause and effect. A wicked or corrupted mind, manosa padahina, is one afflicted by the 3 root poisons, asterisk. Mula asterisk. Lobha, greed, attachment, craving. Dosa, hatred, aversion, ill will. Moha, delusion, ignorance. When one speaks or acts under the influence of these poisons, the seed of future suffering is planted. The inevitability of consequences, lines 4 to 5. This is the core teaching on kamavipaka, action and result. Suffering follows. Dukkhamanvedi, the result is not a punishment from an external being but a natural, impersonal law. Just as a seed of a neem tree will yield a bitter fruit, an action rooted in a defiled mind will yield the fruit of suffering. The suffering may not be immediate, but it is inevitable. The simile of the wheel and the ox. This is one of the most vivid similes in Buddhist literature. The draft ox is the mind. Its hoofprint is the unwholesome thought or intention. The cartwheel is the resulting suffering, which follows inexorably behind. One cannot have the ox pull the cart without the wheel following. Similarly, one cannot perform unwholesome actions without inviting their corresponding results. Practical implications for the path. This verse is not merely philosophical, it is profoundly practical. It provides the why behind the entire Noble Eightfold Path. The necessity of mind training. Since the mind is the source, the entire spiritual path must begin with purifying and training the mind. This is the purpose of meditation, Bhavana *. The practice of mindfulness. Sadhi 1 must be constantly mindful of the thoughts arising in the mind to catch unwholesome states before they manifest as speech or action. Taking responsibility. It places 100% of the responsibility for our happiness and suffering on ourselves. We are the heirs to our own karma. We cannot blame others, circumstances, or fate. The path to liberation. By understanding this law, one is motivated to cultivate a mind free from the three poisons, leading to actions that produce happiness and, ultimately, to the cessation of all suffering, nibbana. In conclusion, this first verse is a comprehensive map of the human condition. It diagnoses the root cause of suffering, a corrupted mind, and, by implication, points to its cure, the cultivation of a pure, mindful, and mastered mind.